Yes, good evening. My name is Larkin Menti. I'm about to present my paper for OT 399 activity analysis. My activity analysis was done on my client. Her name is Zaina. She's age 30. Um, she's interested in cleaning the house, cooking, and taking care of her nieces. Her medical history is carpal tunnel syndrome and arthritis, osteoarthritis. Um, this activity of washing dishes is important to Zaina because she takes care of her nieces and she likes to make sure her house is clean and neat. And she wants her nieces to follow her footsteps, you know, because to see her doing good things, to see her taking care of the house, so as well they can also take care of the house. For dishwashing, the steps involved. First, I'll just read it from the beginning to the end. It's clean and prep the kitchen sink and countertop. Scrape leftover food into trash. Put dishes into sink, fill with water. It could be hot or cold. Soak heavy salt items. Wash in order of least dirty to the dirtiest. And use brush at this but she used sponge. She uses sponge as you can see in the video. Yeah, she uses sponge and use rinse thoroughly using hot water to kill bacteria. Dry she uses towel paper to dry it, and she puts the dishes back on the dish rack. And after she was done, she makes sure she cleans the count. She cleans the sink. Objects used in washing dishes. On the picture, we have sink, sponge, scrub brush, dish soap, and dish racks. And space demand. Um, you don't need a bigger space for dish washing. She didn't need a bigger space, but though it was sizable. The kitchen area and the countertop, um, the the sink, it could be double or single sink, and a dish rack. And for functions that she uses in washing dishes, she uses I think it's categorized, have different categories, but we'll start with mental function, which is attention, sequencing, problem solving, and memory and judgment, safety awareness. Then we move to neuromuscular and movement, where we're talking about the joints, like all the joints that she used, but mostly from her upper body. We have waist joint, you have muscle tone, we have endurance, we have gait for stability. We have shoulder, yeah, we have all those joints. And other body functions, we have sensory functions like visual, proprioceptive, and tactile. And for body structures, we have she uses her eye to look what she's doing, her shoulder, her finger and thumb, her trunk to maintain posture, her legs, what she was standing on, for support, her hands, her heart and lungs for endurance, and her skin, so you can use that for tactile too. We move to joint range of motions. There's a lot, but I'm just gonna try to summarize. She uses her glenohumeral joint on a flexion, which is between 0 to 60 degree abduction, and 0 to 30 degree internal and external rotation for lifting and to reach dishes and scrubbing motion. And for the forearm, we have the radio ulnar joint, which uses for pronation and supination, which is between 40 and 80 degrees, you know, and the wrist joint, we have um, movement flexion and extension, which is between 0 to 40 and 0 to 40 for extension also. Then other joints, we have the MCP, PIP, and DIP, you know. Then the muscles involved that she was using for washing dishes. We're going to talk about the movement tags, the agonists, the antagonists, the concentric, eccentric, and isometric, And since a lot, we're going to just talk about few, pick two. The first, we're going to talk about elbow flexion, which the motion is, or the tag is for scrubbing and lifting of sponge and plate or a dish. And the agonist is the bicep brachii and brachialis, while the antagonist is the bicep brachii. And for concentric, is the biceps contract and bends the elbow, while eccentric, the biceps control lowering of arm plate, and isometric is holding the plate steady by the elbow, angle so it doesn't move or it doesn't fall, and we talk about you have elbow, wrists, those are the joints, those are the muscles, those are the joints, and but the muscles are controlled the joints. We have forearm, we have forearm supination and forearm pronation. We have finger flexion. We have finger extension. And next, or almost the last, or second to the last, we're going to talk about the condition and adaptation. Zaina has some carpal tunnel syndrome, which for adaptation, she will use rig splint at night, so it can help keep the joint from bending. And also, she can use a jar opener for cooking when she want to open jars. And for arthritis, for adaptation for arthritis, Zaina will stand on a mat, on an anti-fatigue mat. As you can see, this picture, she's not standing on an anti-fatigue mat, but on this picture of adaptation, she's standing so she can give some relief on her knee. And lastly, we talk about my references where I got this information. Most of it is from the American Journal of Occupational Therapy, volume 72, issue 4, and it was from July and August 2018. And occupational framework, domain, and processes for the edition. And right here, you can see that's where I got most of the pictures that you're seeing. Thank you. That's the end.